All right, well, a very good afternoon. Let's try that again. All right, well, a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and my name is Richard, and I want to welcome you to our first official course. We've done a couple things in here quietly of this cruise called Let's Talk Tech. So I bet none of you can guess what we're going to talk today. We're going to talk tech. Now, the original name for this class was Travel Tech 101, and people said, well, I already know all these things about travel tech. But I want to tell you the origins of this class. Now again, my name is Richard. I'm the iLounge manager on board. We've got a class right now. We also have something going on at 1 o'clock in the main theater. We're going to be talking, it was in your Captain's Club welcome letter. We're going to talk about the camera on your phones and tablets at 1 o'clock. But for now, I want to give you a little intro, and I want us to go ahead and talk tech. Now when we're talking about talking tech, I want to tell you how this class originally came to be. So I am a crew member, and for many, many years, I was sailing with Celebrity. I've worked for Celebrity for 6 years, and then I had a chance in December to actually go on a Royal Caribbean ship. No, I went on a Celebrity ship. Sorry, I go on Royal Caribbean ships all the time for vacation, because you know where crew members that live in Miami go on vacation?
In the Caribbean.
On cruise ships. And I'd never gone on Celebrity before, but I decided, hey, let me go try out Celebrity. And when I was going to Celebrity, let me get this tech playing correctly, because it's being a little weird with me. There we go. When I was going to Celebrity, I went and I was a passenger. So I was a passenger for 2 weeks. I went on board the Celebrity Equinox, and I spent time in the dining room. I spent time in the ocean view, talking to people and saying, hey, look, this was my room key for the Equinox. I said, hey, look, this is my room key here. Can't show you the whole thing there. But I said, hey, look, what don't you know about tech? And that's where this class came to be. Now, we're talking about personal technology. So we're not talking about anything you have in your business. We're talking about stuff like AOL and Yahoo and Hotmail accounts and different types of personal tech. So what we're going to do is I've got about half of this class planned of things we're going to talk about, and then I've got about half of today wide open to take questions. And it's a very strange thing. I wouldn't usually do that, but I want to go ahead and I want to take some questions, take some things. But the first thing I want to talk about is something that a lot of people have asked me about, which is something I did a little class in here about, but I want to elaborate a little bit further. It's something called airplane mode. Everybody's devices in this room have airplane mode, correct?
Yeah.
How many of us are on airplane mode right now? How many of us are not on airplane mode right now? So here's the most important thing. Do any of you see no service showing on the top of your phone? If you see no service showing on the top of your phone, you should be in airplane mode. When your phone says no service, it is pulling more battery than it ever pulls any time, period. When it says no service. Because when your phone has no service, what do you think it wants to get? Service. It wants to get service. So it's getting really angry. It's like, no service, no service, no service, no service, I need service. And then when it finally gets service, it's okay. So a lot of you likely have on your phone, when you have a signal, you have bars that show you 2 bars, 3 bars, 5 bars, 1 bar. When your phone has 1 or 2 bars, it jacks up its power significantly to get more bars. So the reason if you have no service that your phone battery is dying quicker is because it's looking for service. Whenever you see no service, you should have your device on airplane mode. That turns off the entire cellular component of your device. So it turns off the whole cellular component of your device, and it also turns off the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth. So it turns off the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth on your device. The cool thing is, once you turn on airplane mode, you can go back and turn on Wi-Fi and Bluetooth once you've turned on airplane mode. So if you turn on airplane mode first, and then you go back and you turn on Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, you can actually connect up and it'll work fine. Now, why I put this little clock here is to remind me that I can't call my mom because it's 6 o'clock in the morning in Miami. That's why I could, but I would have a very bad time if I did that. But one of the really cool things that a lot of the carriers have done recently is if you do have airplane mode on and you do have an internet connection with a lot of carriers in the U.S., we'll get to the U.K. and other places in a minute, in the U.S. you can actually make a phone call. That'll seem strange, but believe it or not, you can actually make a phone call while in airplane mode with the normal phone app, which has led to the very quick death of a company that you heard of continuously years ago, but you don't hear of anymore. We used to hear all the time, Skype, 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 Skype. You notice that's kind of faded into obscurity a bit? kind of faded into security a bit because Facebook has taken over that spectrum. FaceTime has taken over that spectrum. All of these different ones have actually taken over that spectrum. Oh, you're pointing to your number? Oh yeah, there's Linda. There's Linda. But if I wanted to, I could actually make a phone call directly from my phone while I am in airplane mode, which is really cool. We can't call the States right now because my mom would absolutely kill me, which I'm not going to do. But I can go in, let me just call a number, 239-244-1837. And it says maybe it's me. But I'm actually dialing inside of airplane mode. That's what's really cool. This is just dialing a dead number. It's going to be stupid with me, but I can actually dial because I'm calling myself. But I can dial inside of airplane mode in the app, and that's one of the really cool things. But how many of you use headphones when you connect to your device sometimes? I see my friend with some headphones right there. That connected to a hearing aid?
Actually to my iPod.
It's connected to your iPod. Can I borrow those headphones for a second? I'm not going to put them in my ear. Can I steal your headphones real quick? There's a reason. So I have an iPhone 7. And what's really great about my iPhone 7 is if I wanted to plug in a pair of headphones to my iPhone 7, I just take it and I look for the headphone jack. There is no headphone jack. But what I said I was going to talk about today was the past, the present, and the future of technology. Now, why I need to borrow his headphones is I don't actually own a pair of wired headphones. But when you talk about Wi-Fi, we all know what Wi-Fi is used for. We agree. It's to connect devices together. But have any of us ever used Bluetooth before? Yeah. Use them for headphones, use them for heart rate monitors, use them for Fitbits, use them for all of these different things like that. Well, the past was you had a headphone jack. And what happens is when Apple does something, almost everybody else follows what Apple does. If you remember, computers all used to have laptop computers used to all have CD drives in them. Is it very difficult to buy a laptop with a CD drive in it now? Even a desktop, it's getting hard to buy a desktop with a CD drive in it. So Apple removed the headphone jack to make the phone more waterproof, and they put into the box, they put in this little tiny adapter right here that you plug into the lightning port, and then I plug his headphone directly into there. And now I have a headphone. There's a problem with this, though. What if I wanted to charge it at the same time? What if I wanted to do all that? Now, when they removed the headphone jack from the iPhone, most of you went, ah. And here's what's interesting. Now, I do have, I'm going to pass this back to you. Now, I do have another phone with me in my left pocket. I'm bilingual. I don't speak Spanish, but I speak both iPhone and Android. This is my Samsung Galaxy S8, and it actually has a multi-purpose headphone jack on it. And you go, well, what do you mean multi-purpose? Well, number one, you can plug a headphone in, and number two, it helps to let out the steam. Helps let out the steam. But when we're talking about headphones, what's interesting is where headphones are going in the future. And I brought a couple of things because I think this is really cool. Now, these will work with iPhones, with iPads, with Androids, with all these different devices. How many of you have ever used a pair of Bluetooth headphones before? And you know you have to go into the settings, and then you have to go into Bluetooth, then you have to turn it into pairing mode, and you have to do all these different things. When Apple got rid of the headphone jack, they introduced something else called the W1 chip. Now, I am a man that can predict things, and I can tell you that in the future it's very likely that Android will release their own version. Samsung's released their own version, but I think Google will release their own version of these. And here's what's really cool. All I do is turn them on, and as soon as I turn them on, they automatically connect to my device. You don't need to do it. And once you connect it to one of your devices, all of your devices connected to iCloud automatically connect. So I can put these right here, and these sit around my neck when I go out in port. If you see me around out in port, I put these around my neck, and when I get a phone call or I get anything like that, I just pick one up magnetically, and I go like that. Now when I go to the gym, I have these guys. These are all my personal ones. These are I have a lot of headphones. And I go like this, and I go, and I've got it right here. Now, this is where the present in headphones is Bluetooth things that have wires between them. But I want to give you an idea of the future of headphones. There's two things in the future. I brought one of them. I'll bring another one another day. But a lot of people have laughed at this, but these are still, well, these are still very hard to come by. Good luck finding them in a store. These are called AirPods. And what these are is these are the world's first good. What I mean by good is I've had 6 pairs before that have not worked very good. The world's first good, truly wireless headphones. So these are like the ear pods that he had that came with that, but I just go ahead and I go like this, put that on, and I have wireless headphones that connect up to my device. And these will work for 5 hours each. I can use them 2 at a time, I can use them 1 at a time. I'm hearing weirdness of myself here. But the case will actually charge them 5 additional times. This is where you're looking at in the future, and you can charge the case via a lightning port. Now right now, Apple's the only one that's made this. Samsung's made some similar ones. They haven't gotten nearly as good reviews, but now the question everybody has is, okay, well, aren't they going to fall off your ears? So just to do a little demo. No, they don't. They don't fall out of your ears, to give you a little demo there. But they're really quite cool, and that's where we're headed into the future. We're talking about the future of a lot of different devices. Now, we're talking about Bluetooth, we're talking about Wi-Fi. I want to give you another very interesting look at the future. I'm not going to demo it right now, but I want to give you the concept. Samsung did something very interesting with their Samsung Galaxy S8. And what's really cool is they made a little dock. I picked this up in Lisbon, Portugal. They made a little dock that you can plug your S8 into, right here. And believe it or not, this turns it into a full desktop computer. So I plug it in, and then my phone, you hook up a keyboard and mouse to this, and you hook it up to a screen. And you've actually got a full desktop computer. I've been playing with this. It's called Samsung DeX. What's interesting is you'll see Apple steal from Samsung, Samsung steal from Apple, because good creators don't create things, they steal them and make them their own, if that makes sense, to give you a little spectrum on there. So they steal them and they make them their own. But that's a really cool gadget. We've got that right there. But what I want to talk about is, so we've talked a little bit about airplane mode. We all understand what airplane mode does. Turns off all of the functions of the device to communicate, but you can go back and you can turn on both Wi-Fi and you can turn on Bluetooth after you've done it. The problem is, with the advent of iOS 9, this is not something that the Android people have to do. You know this thing that says messages? This has become a lot harder to use if you're an Apple person, because sometimes they won't go through and different things like that. And it's because it has to dial back and check with your phone carrier, no matter who you are, every so often, and say, hey, is this phone number still associated with this account? And you'll go, I don't know if it's still associated with this account. So what I recommend, what I use more than anything else, is I use something called Facebook Messenger. Now, it's very dangerous to open my Facebook Messenger because I don't know the last messages I've had on here. Someone just said, hey, what's up, man? Are you participating in Biggest Loser? It seems you've lost some weight. It's called a tight-fitting shirt. It's an amazing trick. But we're going to talk about weight, but I can go in and I can say, no, just a... No, I shouldn't say that. Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, it's fine. I'll get it. Man, it's great. But I went ahead and I sent that right there. And I'm using Facebook Messenger, and I can actually send a message in Facebook Messenger. I don't need internet. I don't need a cellular connection to do it. I just need internet of some sort, be it Wi-Fi, be it cellular, be it anything like that. But I don't need to have a relationship with my cell phone company. And I think what's really cool is inside Facebook Messenger, I can actually share pictures as well. I know I showed this the other day, but I can share multiple pictures at the same time. I can go in and I can share 25 pictures with someone if I wanted to. These are pictures from the Irish Dream show last night that I went to, and I can hit, and I can send it like that. I can make phone calls. I can make video calls. You know what? Let's try this. We're going to try and call someone. Let's see if Matt wants to pick up. Now, if you were on this ship about 3 years ago, you may know Matt. He actually went back to go back to school, but he'll be back very soon. Let's see if he answers. But I'm just using Facebook Messenger here. Now, notice that my phone is in airplane mode. Hey, Matt, what's up? Are you dressed?
Yes, I am.
Oh, good. You're going to say hi to Celebrity Central.
Are you having a class or something?
Of course I am. Welcome back to Celebrity Central, Matt.
Yay! I haven't been there for 2 years.
Wave hello to everyone, Matt. He hasn't been there for a few years. You've got to tell me something. Oh, God.
You definitely have better connection than I had.
Okay, Matt, I'm going to let you go. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
But what's really cool is I just called Croatia. I just called Croatia. I didn't use my phone company. I didn't use anything like that. Now, if some of you wanted to call Croatia, how would you go about doing that?
What's that?
WhatsApp's the same thing. WhatsApp's owned by Facebook Messenger. So Facebook owns WhatsApp, so it's not a big deal. I can rate the call there. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, WeChat. I thought you said Richard. I was very confused. But it sounded like that. But that's some of the cool things. So Facebook Messenger is a very interesting gadget. But I want to go ahead and I want to introduce you to something a little bit different at this point in time. I want to introduce you to something that's going to... does anybody in this room think that all of their pictures and all of their videos are backed up on their device? No questions asked.
No.
Is there anybody in this room that would feel comfortable with me taking their device, smashing it, and replacing, well, if it's an old device, I'm not going to offer that, and replacing it with a new device and thinking you have all of your things in place? I think I am the only one in this room that can say, yes, I feel comfortable that everything is backed up on my device. And here's where it gets weird. I don't use iCloud. You're looking at me and you're going, what? I don't use iCloud to back my things up. Because here's the problem. Well, I have an iPhone. I have another iPhone. I have an iPad. I've got a Windows computer. I've got a Mac computer. I've got an Android phone. Well, what good is that going to do me to have iCloud? Because it's not going to work on some of those devices. So here's where things start to get very cool. There's an awesome app, and the thing is, the most important way to go towards the future is you need to get, I'm telling you what your kids have been saying forever, you need to get a Gmail account. How long have the kids been saying that? Couple years. You need to get a Gmail account. And when you get a Gmail account, one of the best pieces of software you can get with Gmail is an application called Google Photos. A really, really cool application called Google Photos. And I want to talk to you a little bit about Google Photos. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Google Photos ad. That's a really cool ad to give you an idea, because I know this is a problem every person in this room before has faced.
All right, take a picture of something, right?
1,
2, 3. Ah, I missed it. Do it again.
Oh, Laura's holding up the Leaning Tower of Pisa all by her titties.
Take as many photos as you want without running out of space. Introducing Free Up Space. Never run out of storage again with Google Photos.
Now, one of the things people always ask me is they go, well, that seems a bit too good to be true. Unlimited storage, no questions asked, anything like that. Here's the cool thing. I went out to the Irish Dream show last night. I took some pictures with my iPhone. I took some pictures with my Android. And I can access them all on Google Photos. Number one, so I can synchronize it across all of my devices. I'm going to give you a really brief overview now, but I can do it across all of my devices. So all you need to do, and we've got a whole class on Google Photos, an intensive class coming up actually later this afternoon. I'll give you the information on that in a little bit. But what's really cool is Google Photos will allow you to install an app on your iPhone, on your iPad, on your Android, on your Windows computer, on your Mac computer, and synchronize all of those photos across all of your devices. Not only that, but how many of you have a phone that you're always running out of storage on? If you have a phone that you're always running out of storage on, oh, I don't know people. Yeah. Oh wait, which face is yours? It's a good question, that one. So what's cool is I can go in and I can say free up space, and this will figure out the photos and videos that are on my device that have already been backed up. So do I want to remove 7,291 items that have already been backed up? But not only can I free up space, not only can I back up across iPhone, iPad, Windows, and Mac, but I can actually search through my photos without telling it what the photos are of. So, someone give me something random I might have taken a picture with at some point in history.
A dog.
That's too easy. Let's go with something difficult. I've never been to the Eiffel Tower, but it might work. Help me, I'm a millennial, I can't spell. EIFFELTIWER. I've never been to the Eiffel Tower. I will probably be going next week when we go to the Havre, just to see. But there are some pictures of my sister that she took with the Eiffel Tower. Now, here's the thing to understand. This is not a Google image search. This is searching my personal photo library. So even like you see this picture on the wall, that's got that, it's figured that out. But I can go and I can say, Richard, drinking beer, not drinking. And it will automatically find pictures of me, Richard, drinking beer. You'll find a lot of this. But here's where this gets cool. There we go, oh God. Lots of pictures of Richard drinking beer, but I can go Richard and Robert drinking beer. Now, all I ever had to tell it is who Richard was and who Robert was. I never told it what beer was. I never told it what drinking was. I never told it any of that. The cool thing is this application will not only upload all your photos, but will actually understand exactly what you're telling it to do, which is really, really quite cool. Now, Google Photos is something we're going to talk about a bit more in the 1 o'clock class as well as a bit more tomorrow, but we do have at 3:30 today a small session as part of our iLearn VIP, which I'll talk about a bit later, that's going to tell you about that. But I wanted to give you a little intro because that is the solution to, I'm sure almost every one of you in this room has that problem. Am I correct in that? Yeah. That's something when I sat around with people, they said, I don't understand backups. I don't know what a backup is. I don't know if my things are backed up. I don't know about the cloud. I don't know about this. I don't know about that. So I want to clear that up. We're going to be talking about the cloud tomorrow in here as well at 1 o'clock. We're going to be talking about what's the cloud. And we'll talk a little bit more about Google Photos there, but I have something else to talk about. Now, how many of you, yeah?
Excuse me, is it called Google App? Is that what
it's called Google Photos is the name of the application.
Yeah.
Google Photos is the name of the application. Yep, you can get it right in the App Store, on iPhone, on iPad, on Android, on Windows and Mac as well. Now, how many of you have cruised with me before? Now, much as Matt said, I'm looking slimmer. It's not just the tight shirt.
You are looking good.
Yes, it's not just the tight shirt. I've actually lost about 50 pounds. And how I lost 50 pounds was with technology. And I want to share some of this with you because I think this is really, really interesting. And my inspiration for this, I actually want to pull up this guy. Let me see if I can get it. He's actually kind of a mentor to my weight loss. His name is Penn Jillette. You know Penn Jillette? Penn for Penn and Teller? You might have heard of him before. I didn't prepare this before. I'm just kind of talking. But Penn from Penn and Teller actually lost a lot of weight. And he lost a lot of weight by using technology. Remember, he used to be a big guy. Now, he looks a little sick in this picture. He's not. He's actually extremely healthy. But he dropped about 150 pounds. This is Penn from Penn and Teller. And then there's New Penn from Penn and Teller. Yeah. He lost a lot. And I lost a lot. So people say that I've lost about, I'm 29, so they say I've lost a bunch of years of my life. Well, good, like going the wrong direction. But how I did is I did it with technology. Now, I actually wear not one, but 2 smartwatches. Now, people go, why do you wear 2 smartwatches? What's the right answer? Because I have a lot of time on my hands. Now, I can't take credit for that joke. I'm sitting down at Crew Bar. Some guy comes up to me. He's a cleaner. He goes, hey, buddy, you look like you have a lot of time on your hands. I go, no, I'm really busy. He goes, no, you look like you have a lot of time on your hands. I'm like, oh, these. And one of the cool things is, like yesterday, a lot of you are going to think I'm crazy with what I say, but yesterday I went outside and I was like, you know what? I'm going to walk to town. So me and my assistant walked 3.5 miles into Dublin, and as a reward, hold on, you got to see the reward. Oh, well, beer was part of the reward. So that was much more of the reward. When we walk, we always find things like a Kraft donut shop. That's a Ferrero Rocher donut. An apple pie donut. And an Oreo crumble donut. None of you found Offbeat Donuts. You know why? Because you didn't walk to town. That's why you didn't find the donut shop. Followed by the beer shop. Followed by the garlic and cheese fries. But guess what? I did 27,000 steps yesterday. So that's okay. If you did 27,000 steps, you can do it. But I think one of the most interesting things that tech of the future is going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you to track. Now, I actually have a very interesting tracker, and I want to show you some trackers, but I want to show you something I know none of you in this room have ever heard of before. Now, we've all tracked our steps. We might have tracked our resting heart rate or other things like that, but how many of you have ever tracked your stress? So this is really cool. There's a little gadget. I'm going to open it up and then I'll show you how it works. It's called the Spire. And what it does is it clips to your pants and it checks your breathing to tell you when you have tense breathing. So I can see my breathing, and I'm, believe it or not, relatively calm right now. And what it is a little gadget. I'm going to take it off real quick so I can show you. There we go. Calculating. Here we go. I'm in motion because I move my stomach. But it's this little stone right here. Doesn't look like a piece of tech, does it? It's like a little stone. It doesn't have anywhere to plug it in or anything like that. You just have a little pad that you rest it on. It's a completely sealed device, and what it does is when you're tense, it'll vibrate, and it'll say you've had 8 tense minutes. When you've had active minutes, it'll go ahead and it'll say, hey, you've had these many active minutes. Hey, I'm in motion. And it's actually tracking my motion, and the greatest thing is this has made it through the laundry on the ship 4 times. I have actually gone down to the laundry and I posted a little sign, if you find this, and then I put my phone number to call. It's like, if you find this thing, call this number. But this is very interesting because it shows you, I've got to clip it back on, shows you your breathing patterns, shows you a lot of different things like that about what you're doing. Now, like I said, we all have some kind of device to track our steps, but something that we don't track, and I think we neglect tracking, is something that we're afraid to track, is our weight. Now, my mom just redid her bathroom. This is a little, and I ordered her a special tile for her bathroom. It's a special tile, they actually make these, that has a scale built into it. So you don't need to have a scale. She actually stands on the tile and it measures her. But what I use a scale from a company called Withings, W-I-T-H-I-N-G-S. And I just want to show you, because this is where tech gets really interesting. So I'm going to show you the scale on the screen in a minute, but this scale will measure your weight, will measure your body fat, will measure your hydration levels, will measure the air temperature in the house, as well as the air quality in the house over Wi-Fi just by stepping on it. Which is what's really cool. It does all of this just by stepping on it. So what's cool, if I open it up, this is from a company called Withings. W-I-T-H-I-N-G-S. And I can actually see over time my weight. So my last weight was, see, I'm not ashamed of this. My last weight was 196. My highest weight was 247. And this is over time. I do want to point out one little thing that's very important. You see I was doing really, really well. And then you see that spike of going back up? That's when I went on a cruise and I got the beverage package. That's the truth. That was Oasis of the Seas. I got the beverage package. Just remember, clear alcohol has less calories. That's why I have a diet Long Island iced tea or a few every single evening. So, because clear alcohol, fewer calories. So what's really cool though is I can track over time my weight, my BMI. See when I really started behaving. And then I'm doing okay now. But what's really cool is I am no longer, wait, where is it? I am no longer legally obese. Now I'm just fat. So, now I'm just fat. But what really kicked me into gear was when the celebrity was like, hey, we're going to throw you off the ship because your cholesterol's too high. And I actually got my cholesterol down. I got my blood pressure down. I got a lot healthier. And there's a really cool app I want to share with you that you can try. And what was really cool is the person who made this app actually happened to be on board for our transatlantic a few weeks ago. And he was watching it on TV. He's like, they're talking about my app. And then he came down and he chatted with me. The name of this app is called Deadline. Very interesting app. Tells you exactly when you're going to die. Now it says I'm going to live to 93. Now I'll tell you, before I lost weight, before I became active, it said I was going to live to 65. So I've added some years to my life now. That doesn't factor, unforeseen circumstances. But what's cool is we can go in and you can actually calculate. You can calculate your own, and it uses your steps on your phone and things like that. But if you've got someone else, you can actually calculate their deadline by asking some very interesting questions. You're going to be a good sport, right? Okay. Okay, we'll go to your friend here. She's going to be a good sport. All right, what's your birthday?
May 31st, 1956.
May 31st, 1956. And then, what's your diet like? Normal, not so healthy, very healthy?
Not so much.
Not so healthy! Thank you for being honest. Smoking?
No,
No. How about the booze? Be honest.
very little.
On this cruise?
A little.
A little, okay. Parents, did they live a long, healthy life?
My father just died at 89.
Okay, lived a long, healthy life. Exercise, very active, exercise often, rarely exercise?
Rarely.
Okay, thank you for being honest. And the last one, your stress level. You could have a spider that would tell you this, but
I'm pretty low key.
she's pretty low-key, normal. And it says, you are going to live to be around 83 years old. Now here's what's cool. If I wanted to let you know that, I can send you a card. Happy holidays, you're going to die by 83. Happy New Year, better enjoy it. You got just 22 more of them left. Happy Hanukkah, you only got 22 more candles on your menorah. And Merry Christmas, you have just 22 Christmases left. It's a great app. It's called Deadline, D-A-D-L-I-N-E, which is really quite cool. It's a really cool application. Now, what I want to do is I want to show you one more gadget. And then what I'm going to do for a couple minutes is I want to open the floor, because here's what's cool. I am going to, if it's an easy question, I'll answer it now. If not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the rest of the courses for this cruise around the questions that are asked at the end of this class, if that makes sense. I think that's actually really cool to be dynamic. I'm not rigid in what I teach. I'm dynamic, but I want to show you one more really cool gadget. This is a little bit of the future. This is my BB-8.
Oh.
Oh, it's so cute. It used to be on my desk, and then too many people played with it. But whenever someone has their kids on board, one of the officers has their kids on board, they go, we need to borrow your BB-8. So I'm showing you BB-8 right now, because I know I'm going to lose it by the end of this cruise to someone who has their kids on board. So that's why I'm showing it now. What this is actually, did any of you see the Star Wars movie? Not the one that came out this year, but the one that came out last year. If you didn't see it, you're one of the very few people in the world who didn't. But what this is the future of remote-controlled cars. Now, when I went to buy this, they said, is this purchase for a child? And I said yes. But what's really cool, let me get this guy going. There we go. Is it's an actual BB-8, and I can drive it around. And this is kind of like the future of a remote-controlled car. Let's go for a drive. Oh no, here we go. Or we can make him come back. That's cute, but the problem is that's not nerdy enough for me. I'm sorry. If any of you are actually Star Wars fans, using the phone is not enough. What must you use to make something happen? The Force, yes. This took me a lot of practice to figure out how to do. This is actually, I practiced it in my hallway for about a week before I actually showed anybody this. But this is called the Force Band, and this allows me to use the Force. Most of you are like, he's just making this up, and yes, I am.
Choose your activity. Control your droid.
I want that.
Hold your force band near your droid to connect. Your droid is connected. With your arm level to the ground, rotate
All right.
until the blue light points.
And then,
To control your droid.
that, my friends, is the Force. That takes a lot of skill to do. You try and do that sometimes. That takes a lot of skill. I got one more really cool gadget since we're going to Iceland, and then I want to open the floor for a couple minutes' time. But since we're going to Iceland, or even the last few days, it's been a little bit cold outside, hasn't it? The gloves. Have you seen my gloves before?
No, I bought my daughter some years ago.
You bought your daughter some of these touchscreen gloves,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But that's not what these are. Ah. Well, this one's a touchscreen glove. So these are gloves you can actually touch your screen through. Because what's interesting is if you have an iPhone 7 and you have gloves on and you don't have touchscreen gloves, guess what?
Doesn't work.
You can't touch because the home button's not real. But here's the cool thing. This is touchscreen gloves, and you see I've got these gloves right here that work on my screen. But this one, the left glove, is the nerdiest thing I own, and I've had a lot of gadgets over the years. This is one of the nerdiest things I own. This is actually a phone. So it connects over Bluetooth, and I just showed this to my assistant 3 days ago. We went out in Guernsey, and he's like, "Oh my God, you are a nerd." That's my assistant saying that. So, but what's cool, it's got a speaker right here, and it's got a microphone right there on the bottom. Now I'm going to open for questions in just a couple seconds' time. Those are called Bluetooth gloves. But I want to. They run about $10, $15 on Amazon. I bought it in a store in the UK called The Source. Not the UK, in Canada, called The Source. Now, I want to let you know what we have going on. So, at 1 o'clock today in Celebrity Central, not Celebrity Central, in the main theater, in the Eclipse Theater, we're going to be talking about taking better pictures with your smartphone or your tablet. So, that's going to be, go have lunch, and we're going to talk about taking better pictures with your smartphone or your tablet. But then, what we're going to be doing throughout the cruise is we've got something called iLearn VIP. And what we're going to be talking about over that is all kinds of different gadgets and stuff like that. This is a video from our safari that we did last cruise. I take videos of everything. No, I don't want to show her. I want to show the safari. And this is one of the really cool things that we're going to show in here. Any of you still have an iPhone 5 or 5S or iPhone SE? Let me show you something really cool your device can do that the people with the newer, shinier phones can't do. Imagine for a second if your device, I have a video of this because I don't have a 5S anymore, could actually take a panoramic picture on its own. You see that phone's actually moving on its own? Nobody's touching that. So it's really, really quite cool. But we're going to have a couple of different courses. I'll have the information up here after the class. We're going to have a lot of stuff in here, but we're going to have something called iLearn VIP, which is just 22 people. In those courses, we're going to be taking a look, a very deep look. We're taking an overview tomorrow, but a very deep look at Google Photos. We're going to be doing a camera safari where we go around the ship and take a lot of different pictures of different things, as well as an advanced smartphone apps class and a class that goes deeper into a lot of Google services and things like that. But what I want to do right now is I want to see, now if I don't answer your question now, please don't be insulted. It means I need some preparation and I'm going to answer it in a later class if that makes sense. But I want to open the floor for 5 minutes or so. If we've got any tech questions, yeah?
How do 2 watches equate to 50-pound weight loss?
So it's steps, it's active minutes, there's different things like that. So here's the answer to your question. In here on Akureyri night, so am I saying it right? Aoraki, sorry. In Aoraki night, I'm going to go into a lot more depth. But what I did is the watches got me motivated. These watches will say, honestly, this watch is very mean to me. It says, you've been lazy, you need to move around. And if I don't move around, it gets angry at me. Now, there's actually a third watch that I didn't bring today that's actually interesting. If I don't move around, it electrocutes me. That's actually not a joke. It's called the Pavlok. It follows Pavlovian theory. It's my alarm clock. It's my movement watch. It's everything like that. So we'll go a little bit more in depth. But here's the most important thing. When you're doing weight loss, you need to use tracking. So if you use a watch in combination with a scale that watches your weight over time, and you can see if you do a 20,000 step day, you'll see you'll lose, and you don't eat 3 donuts, you'll see you lose half a pound the next day. Because you're not really losing half a pound, but you're losing that water weight, you're losing different things. I am no expert at health. That's Mr. Charles and Mr. Vladimir up in the spa. But I'm just letting you know my personal experience there. We're going to talk about the smartwatches a lot more in depth on Akureyri night in here. You'll see it in the daily program. We're going to go into that a lot more in depth. But that's something we can talk about, yeah.
Doing bank transactions on the ship.
Here's the simple answer. I do bank transactions, I do stock transactions, I pay my credit cards, I do all of that. The thing you need to be wary of is not the ship. The thing you need to be wary of is when you go outside and you connect to a public Wi-Fi. Those are the dangerous ones. When you log in on the ship, it is an encrypted tunnel. As soon as you log in, it's full encryption. You don't need to worry. I do it all the time. I think that's the best way to tell you. I do it, no problem. Yeah? Were you just reaching? Yeah.
So on iPhoto, I have all of my pictures with locations and comments. If I switch them over to Google, will that go with it, or will I lose?
So all of your locations will come automatically. All the EXIF data that has your locations, all of the comments will not, and the faces will not. Now what's going to happen is I'm going to give an overview tomorrow in the 1 o'clock class of Google Photos, but we're going to have a much more detailed class of Google Photos as part of our iLearn VIP. The overview tomorrow will be about 20 minutes. Today's is going to be an hour and a half just on Google Photos to give you a concept there. Yeah?
I have an equipment question.
Yeah, she has an equipment question. Oh my.
Well, basically, I have a Samsung.
Yeah?
Note 4, which I love.
Yeah?
And I have an iPad, which I don't like. If I'm going to stay with Samsung for the phone, am I better off staying with a Samsung Pad or an Android Pad?
You ask a very, 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 very good question.
I can't get straight from Verizon.
So the straight answer is, I live in, she asked the question to probably the only person that could validly answer that question on the ship. She said, should I get, okay, if I have a Samsung phone, should I also get a Samsung Pad? Should I also get that? I'm going to tell you, I've never found a Samsung Pad that I like. There's the answer to the question. But there are Android pads that I really like. Take a look at the Pixel C. That's the name of the one you should look at. It comes directly from Google. Here's the nice thing. If you use Gmail, if you use Google Photos, if you use all of that, you can switch between any device. What you've got to understand is I have 7 devices sitting right up there, and I can grab any of those 7 devices and do whatever I want on there because everything synchronizes there.
I also have a Dell PC at home.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It'll synchronize across all of those. We're going to get into that. That's why, if you notice, if you've sailed with Celebrity before, we were very Apple. I show it with an Apple because it's easy to show, but I use everything except BlackBerry.
Does it still exist?
Is there any Canadians in the room? You still have a BlackBerry? Yeah, of course you do.
The office supplies it.
And the office supplies it. Got time for 1 or 2 more questions? Yeah. I see the lady in the red hair.
My airplane mode is on.
Uh-huh.
My cellular data is off.
It overrides all of that. Airplane mode turns off the cellular data. You don't need to worry about turning off the cellular data.
Okay, and when you do the messenger on Facebook,
Uh-huh.
is that easy to hook up?
Yes, it's very easy to hook up. Yeah. And you can stop by the iLounge on next if you have any questions. The last one will be my gentleman that I just pointed to right there. Yes?
The iPhone 5,
Uh-huh.
iPhone 6, we have a 6. It has not coordinated the time with local time.
Awesome question. And we'll end with that one. How many of you have wrong time on your phone? Or on your computer? Here's the most important thing, and I love that because I'm going to show you how to do this, and then we'll be good for the day. How do you correct the time? Tonight, I believe we go hour back. Back? Yeah. I think we go hour back. So you have your phone. Are you still on U.S. time?
It's on New York time.
It's on New York time. So on an iPhone or an iPad, you just go to Settings, you go to General, and you scroll down to where it says Date and Time. What you don't want to do is manually change the time. Instead, you want to change the time zone. So some of you will have it on set automatically, which is why it's still set to New York time, because you've been on airplane mode since you left New York, probably. And if you turn off set automatically, and we're going to type in Iceland, and it's going to say Reykjavik. The only reason I know how to pronounce that is because we're going there. Else, Reykjavik. But if I click there, you'll see I have gone back 1 hour, and it's like this class never happened. It's 10:46 to give you a concept. So as of right now, what we want to have typed in is London. But before you retire to sleep tonight, we're going to type in Reykjavik. So for most of you, I'm going to wish that you enjoy your lunch. I'm going to go have a quick lunch. I have some information on our VIP classes in the front. The first one starts at 3:30 today on Google Photos. It's an intensive class on Google Photos. And I will see hopefully most of you in the theater in an hour's time for our camera class, smartphone and tablet cameras. That's it for today. Right now, bye!